Live from London, where we'll be speaking exclusively with the leads from our in-residence program and the founder of Mosaic Smart Data, one of the original startups from our in-residence program. Sit tight, we'll be live from London shortly. Josh, tell us a little bit about the in-residence program.
Historically, corporates haven't been particularly fantastic when it comes to working with startups. And so just over a year ago, we set up in-residence as a structured way of identifying the best early stage ideas and startups out there, physically locating these companies within J.P.Morgan, and typically over a 6-month period, actually incubating them with a view to solving for wholesale banking problems through co-creation.
And how does J.P.Morgan actually partner with the fintech entrepreneurs and startups?
It's a lengthy process which kicks off with us, first of all, finding the appropriate business sponsors. So actually the product champions internally, usually very, very senior within J.P.Morgan, but ultimately are going to put their time behind making sure the company is a success. We also do a lot of user testing and piloting, so actually understanding whether their product is scalable and something that we can take to an enterprise level company. We provide them with money, so ultimately we want to be the first customer of these companies. It's not about hype for us. It's not about bringing in companies and saying we've worked with X amount of fintechs. It's about execution. So at the end of it, we want to be the first partners of these companies if we've actually helped them grow and scale. And we also provide them with other things, so things like proprietary data, so if they want to validate their models, know-how, so actually our people who can say, okay, this is actually important to us within capital markets, or it's not important to us in capital markets. And in certain instances as well, we provide capital. So for the example here with Mosaic, we're actually an investor in Mosaic and actually looking to help them grow as a company within the wider market and not just as J.P.Morgan's primary use case.
And that access is really what makes the J.P.Morgan in-residence program different, right? The fact that they're here working with us.
Completely. If you look at a number of different accelerator and incubation models, typically you might have 5 or 10 companies that are brought in at the same time. They'll all work together. They'll typically have one person internally who might advise them and give them some feedback on an ongoing basis. Ours is a lot more intensive than that. We're not about, as I said, kind of lots and lots of companies. We've met 530 companies to date, and we've only got 6 residents. So we're very selective in picking the best companies out there. But when we get them in, we properly back them. So we really put a strong team around them. So end business users, actual technologists, and then giving them actual real access to our data, so it's tangible outcomes at the end of it.
So J.P.Morgan recently announced that we were bringing in Mosaic to work with our fixed income traders, and in essence, you've graduated from the in-residence program. So tell me a little bit about what you foresee the impact of Mosaic working with J.P.Morgan and our fixed income traders.
First of all, culturally, it's massive. We've gone from working in spreadsheets to a position where we can actually start visualizing the data. So data that has been locked away and insights that have been locked away about our clients, we can now start seeing them, we can start seeing the relationship between the two of them, and actually start opening up huge opportunities within our sales force. So that's the first starting point, and that's great for Mosaic, and that's great for everything we're doing there. But also it helps us as we actually start to engage and bring in new technologies as well. The expectation is that we're moving the dial, and actually how we're leveraging technology is changing.
Great. Let's take it over to Matt. Matt, can you tell us a little bit about Mosaic? Where did you come up with the idea? What does your company do?
So Mosaic Smart Data, we concentrate on data analytics, and that is real-time data analytics, historic, real-time and predicted outcomes, specifically for capital markets in its first instance. And we're delighted to have been invited onto the in-residence program. In essence, Mosaic was born out of my own personal frustration. I was based in fixed income for north of 20 years on both the trading and the sales side. And in essence, data analytics, the likes of which we offer was not available. And when we talk about that, we're looking at a consolidated view of all activity across all venues of our clients in one place, which is readily available and immediately accessible to the users. Now, what we're also talking about is saying that within analytics, what is it that we're actually trying to do? And we focus really on three areas, which is firstly, what is the data that we need to give to the user and make sure that we have cleaned and enriched the data. The second area is to make sure that the comprehensibility of the data is really defined by beautiful dashboards that people can navigate and self-serve, and it doesn't feel as though it's a piece of enterprise software. Instead, very much more a consumer piece of software. And probably the third and certainly most important piece is really the insights. It's the intelligence in the data. Now, a large organization such as J.P.Morgan has an enormous amount of stored data. And what we do is we work with J.P.Morgan to unlock the insights in that data and really to convert the data into a strategic weapon. And when we talk about that, we're also talking about the concept of much deeper client centricity. When we were invited onto the in-residence program and the discussions we had, I think only after we'd done the proof of concept did it really become a reality for the users to see what could be achieved with data and how quickly one can understand the activities in the market around you.
So at what point did you decide, well, I think I'm going to go for this J.P.Morgan in-residence program? What made you decide to do that?
Dealing with a very large organization such as J.P.Morgan is extremely challenging to convince the organization that a small company can offer something that they can't build themselves. Indeed, we never have said that J.P.Morgan, if they so wished, couldn't build the type of software that we're building. It's really about time to market. And I think the leveraging of the technologies that Josh has mentioned, which is cloud architecture, APIs, and indeed being able to access the new technologies rapidly and bring them to bear for usability, because it's not really about the technology anymore, it's about the application of the technology and how you bring the technology into the workflow of the user. And so I think that that's really what we're focused on. Just became an obvious decision for us to move into the in-residence program because of the accessibility to the business. We've co-created the product. We began with a product that we'd brought and manufactured ourselves, but really the essence of it is understanding what the true pain point for the user is, and that can really only be brought to bear when the user actually starts to build and work with the software in production, and we get that feedback and able to rapidly turn around the improvements on the software for a really tailored solution for the users, and that's sales, trading, management, and really for the wider audience.
What is the benefit then that J.P.Morgan brings to you? Is it that sort of testing that you see? What benefit does Mosaic get from J.P.Morgan?
If you think about it, I mean, J.P.Morgan is the most prestigious financial institution in the world. So first and foremost, by working with you, we are given immediate credibility. But most importantly, we have an analytics platform that can be leveraged across all of capital markets. Indeed, in its first iteration, we are focused on the FICC market, so fixed income, currencies and commodities. But largely with an analytics platform such as ours, it's really data model dependent. And because J.P.Morgan is active in all of the financial markets, it was a natural partnership for us to leverage because A, we give you software far faster than we think you can manufacture it yourself, and at the same time we're able to build that platform across all of the markets that we think it will have an ability to serve the wider market.
Yeah, and on that note, Josh, so J.P.Morgan recently announced that we would be bringing in Mosaic to work with our fixed income traders, and in essence you've graduated from the in-residence program. So how do you foresee the impact of Mosaic in the next couple of years?
It's exciting times for what we're doing with Mosaic. I mean, we've just launched it in North American rates. But the opportunity, as Matt said, across FIC is massive. In the next 6 months, we're going to be launching in European rates and actually looking to move across asset classes. And I think it's interesting because we originally saw Mosaic as a sales tool, so something that would be leveraged by sales and actually we could build it out and gradually scale over time. As we spend more time looking at all the different tools we've got internally as well, we're thinking actually we can start using Mosaic as a means to accelerate what we're doing in trading as well. So don't reinvent the wheel. We've got a great tool with Mosaic, and actually what can we add in trading that's supplementary to that? So opportunistically now we're actually looking across the firm and saying we can leverage this in a lot more places, so let's. And as Matt said, he's really developing and providing different functionality at real pace. That's a real game changer for what we're doing. I mean, we are constrained with a lot of the regulatory aspects and regulatory technology that we're having to put in at the moment, in particular with MiFID. And so when we can actually look to rely on other resources such as Matt, and his team, then that's a great outcome for us.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank
Absolute
you.
pleasure.
All right, now we're going to move to the rapid fire round. Just say the first thing that comes to mind. Coffee or tea?
Obviously tea.
So British.
For me, coffee in the morning and tea in the afternoon.
Okay. Football or American football?
American football is not a sport.
Whoa.
I'm from the Southern Hemisphere, so my interest is really in rugby.
I don't know if I can let that last answer stand. Okay, smart homes or self-driving cars?
Self-driving cars.
All right.
For me, it's definitely smart homes.
All right. Voice recognition or chatbots?
Chatbots. Yeah.
Voice recognition, without a doubt.
Tablets or paperbacks?
Paperbacks.
Oh, interesting.
I'll agree with Josh on that one.
Oh,
Definitely paperbacks.
okay. Podcasts or TV shows?
TV shows.
As well, TV shows.
All right. Social media live streaming or streaming on demand?
Streaming on demand, more of a binge watcher. Yeah.
I'm also streaming on demand.
Yeah. And finally, what is your must-have holiday gadget this year?
It's the electric car. You know, got to save the world. Yeah.
Yeah?
That's a great answer. Unfortunately, mine's much more prosaic. The holiday gadget that I need is my laptop because I need to be accessible from the office from wherever I am in the world.
Yes, you do.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. Tune in tomorrow where we'll be live from New York City.